boys and girls. We've been talking about coming to school in your car and how you get there, driving through your neighborhood and maybe the town or on the highway. This is one of my favorite stories about Franklin's Neighborhood by Paulette Bourgeois, pictures by Brenda Clark. Franklin could count to 10 and back again and say the alphabet without stopping. He liked drawing pictures and he loved show and tell. So when Mr. Owl assigned the first project of the year, Franklin was ready. "We live in a neighborhood," explained Mr. Owl, "and our neighborhood's made up of houses and stores and gardens," said Snail. "And a hospital," added Barger. "Exactly," said Mr. Owl. "Now for tomorrow, I want each of you to draw a picture of what you like best about your neighborhood." "What do you like best?" asked Franklin. Mr. Owl thought for a moment. "I like the school," he replied. Everyone laughed. When Franklin got home, he hurried to his room. "Don't you want a snack?" asked his mother. "No, thanks. I've a project to do," said Franklin. Franklin took out his crayons and some paper, and then he sat down to think. He thought about the ice cream store, and the bicycle trail, and the soccer field. Franklin sighed. Choosing the best thing about the neighborhood? That was not going to be easy. Franklin went to find his mother. "Can I have that snack now, please?" he asked. "I think my brain is hungry." But after 3 fly cookies and 2 glasses of milk, Franklin still hadn't decided what he liked best. "Why don't you go for a walk? Go around the neighborhood," suggested his mother. "That might help," said Franklin. He got his paper and crayons, and off he went. Franklin met Beaver in the meadow. "I finished my project," Beaver announced. "I picked the library. I went there right after school to draw my picture." Franklin thought about story time with Mrs. Goose the librarian. "That's a great idea," Franklin said. "Maybe that's what I'll draw too." He waved goodbye and headed for the library. Franklin was sitting on the library steps when Fox came by. "Have you finished your project?" asked Fox. Franklin shook his head. "No, I was going to draw the library, but on the way here I saw the movie theater. I can't make up my mind." "I chose the fire station," said Fox. Franklin remembered the time Chief Wolf let him sit in the fire truck. "That's a good idea," Franklin said. "Maybe that's what I'll draw too." He collected his paper and crayons and set off. Franklin was outside the fire station when he saw Moose. "Have you finished your project yet?" asked Moose. "No," Franklin sighed. "I was going to draw the fire station, but on my way here I saw other places that I like just as much." "Oh, I like the pond best of all," said Moose. Franklin thought about swimming and skating with his friends. "That's a very good idea," Franklin answered. "Maybe that's what I'll draw." He said goodbye and headed for the pond. Franklin was staring at the water when Bear came along. "What's the matter?" asked Bear. "I can't decide what to draw for my project," said Franklin. "I like too many things." "Well, my best place is the berry patch," said Bear. Franklin thought about all the times he and Bear had picked berries together. "See," said Franklin, "another great idea." "What about the park?" Bear suggested. Franklin thought about playing with his friends on the swings and the slide. "That's it," thought Franklin. He said goodbye to Bear and hurried off. Franklin's mother found him sitting alone on the teeter-totter. "Did the walk help?" she asked. "Not really," replied Franklin. "There are so many great things in our neighborhood." Franklin's mother gave him a hug. "Let's go home and talk," she said. "I made your favorite supper." Franklin grinned. "At least I know what that is." Franklin felt a little better after broccoli soup and fly pie. "I'm ready to think again," he said. Then he asked his parents what they liked best about the neighborhood. "Oh, I like the farmer's market on Saturday morning," said his mother. Franklin smiled. He loved Farmer Rabbit's sweet peas and Farmer Squirrel's fly brownies. "And I like belonging to the chess club," said his father. Franklin agreed he liked belonging to the chess club, too. Then Franklin remembered something. "Is it true that Mr. Heron is moving?" he asked. Mr. Heron was the president of the chess club. "Yes, it's true," replied Franklin's father. "I'm going to miss him very much. This neighborhood won't be the same without him." Franklin nodded. He was going to miss Mr. Heron too. Suddenly Franklin knew what he wanted to draw. I know what I like best, he said. Franklin ran to his room and started working. At school the next day, everyone was excited. It was time to see the projects. Raccoon went first. I drew the river, he said. I drew the forest, said Hawk. Finally, it was Franklin's turn. He unrolled a huge piece of paper. It was covered with drawings of almost everyone that Franklin knew. I don't get it, said Beaver. Franklin smiled. I drew my neighbors, he said. That's what I like best about my neighborhood. What a great story about Franklin's neighborhood.